Let's settle in today for a deep, honest conversation about love, loyalty, and the resilience of two people who have become symbols of standing tall in the face of unimaginable betrayal. I'm talking about Harry and Meghan, two names that the British media can't keep out of their mouths, but two hearts that refuse to be defined by anyone else's narrative. So let's dig in. Let's talk about why Meghan wishes Harry could feel less burdened by the past, and what that really says about who they are and what they stand for. Now, there's a lot of noise out there, endless headlines, endless speculation, but at the centre of it all is something so beautifully simple: a woman who loves her husband and wants him to be free. That's what Meghan's wish is all about. She's seen what the past has done to Harry, the way it's twisted his memories, weighed down his spirit, and kept him tied to a family that refuses to acknowledge his pain. She knows that for Harry to fully embrace the life they've built together, the life they're still building, he has to find a way to let go of the past. And that's not easy. Because for Harry, the past isn't just some old scrapbook of memories. It's a living, breathing thing that's haunted him for years. Think about it. This is a man who's been used as a pawn in a family PR game since he was a child. From the moment he was born, Harry was defined not by who he was, but by what he represented: the spare, the insurance policy, the scapegoat. And when Meghan came into his life, she saw that. She saw how that narrative was poisoning him, how it was holding him back from being the man he was meant to be. And she said, no more. Meghan's always been about building something new, something better. She's always had that clarity of purpose. And she wants that for Harry too. The People magazine article is just the latest glimpse into how Meghan sees it all. She's not clinging to the past. She's not chasing after the approval of people who will never give it. She's focused on the future, and she wants Harry to be right there with her. That's what real partnership looks like. That's what real love looks like. And yet, here we are, still talking about a family that would rather see Harry and Meghan suffer in silence than admit they were wrong. King Charles, the man who should be the first to protect his son, hasn't lifted a finger. He's let the tabloids do their worst. He's let the world believe that Harry is just some rebellious child who can't let go of the past. But let's be real here, Harry's not the one who can't let go. It's the royal family, it's the British media. It's all the people who profit off of his pain. When Harry says he won't speak to me, it's not just a line, it's a wound. It's the ache of a son who's tried everything to reconnect, to heal, to find some scrap of love in a father who's chosen silence over understanding. And yet, even as Harry's tried to bridge that gap, Charles has chosen power, image and tradition over his own flesh and blood. Meghan sees that. She's seen it from the beginning, and that's why she's done with it. Meghan knows that you can't heal in a place that keeps cutting you open. She's done trying to force herself into a family that never wanted her there in the first place. She's moved on. She's building a future with Harry that's about hope and healing and purpose. And she wants Harry to be fully present in that future. Because Meghan understands what so many people seem to forget. Harry is worth more than the crown, more than the titles, more than any of it. He's a father, a husband, a man who's fought to protect his family. And that's enough. But let's not forget how the British media loves to spin this. They're so desperate to turn Meghan into the villain, to paint her as the woman who took Harry away. But let's flip that narrative on its head. Meghan didn't take Harry away from his family. She helped him see that he deserved better. She showed him that love doesn't have to hurt, that family doesn't have to be conditional, that it's okay to walk away from people who only want to control you. That's not manipulation. That's liberation. Look at how the press tries to frame everything Meghan does. They call her calculating. They call her ambitious. They call her every name under the sun. But here's the truth they'll never admit. Meghan is just a woman who refuses to play by their rules. She's a woman who says, I won't shrink myself to fit into your mould, and that terrifies them. Because when Meghan stands up for herself, she's standing up for every woman who's been told to sit down and shut up. When she speaks out, she's giving voice to every person who's been told to stay silent, and they can't handle that. So, of course, they attack her. Of course, they twist her words. Of course, they pretend that she's the problem, because if they admitted the truth that Meghan was never the problem, then they'd have to admit that the entire system is rotten to the core. Harry sees that too, even if part of him still hopes for some miracle of reconciliation. And that's what makes his journey so heartbreaking and so inspiring, because he's torn between the love he has for his family, the family he was born into, and the love he's built with Meghan. And the truth is that love with Meghan is what's real, it's what's true, it's what's worth fighting for. We saw this so clearly in Harry's lawsuits over police protection. He's not asking for special treatment. He's not asking for the Crown's favour. He's asking for basic safety for his wife and children. And what does the royal family do? They turn their backs. They let the courts decide, knowing full well that the British establishment will never protect someone who dared to step out of line. Harry's been fighting an uphill battle because he knows that Meghan and their children deserve to be safe. And what father wouldn't fight for that? It's telling that Meghan has stayed so strong through all of this. She's not here for the drama. She's not here to keep reliving the same old wounds. She's here to protect her family and to build something lasting. That's what matters to her. And that's what she wants for Harry too. Because when Meghan says she wishes Harry could feel less burdened by the past, she's saying, "I see how much it hurts you. I see how it keeps you up at night. I see how it dims your light." And she wants him to know that it doesn't have to be that way, that he doesn't owe anyone his suffering, that he doesn't have to keep carrying the weight of a family that's never had his back. Think about how powerful that is. Think about how rare it is to have someone in your corner who loves you that deeply, that unconditionally. That's Meghan. That's who she's always been. And that's why Harry chose her. Because in a world that's always wanted to use him, Meghan chose to love him. Not for the title, not for the money, not for the fame, but for who he really is. That's why we stand with them. That's why we keep telling their story. Because Harry and Meghan are a reminder that no matter how loud the haters get, love is louder. No matter how relentless the tabloids are, the truth will always shine through. And no matter how hard they try to break them, they're still standing. And I know some people out there will say, "Oh, they're just celebrities now. They're not relevant anymore." But let me tell you something. Harry and Meghan's story is bigger than celebrity. It's about the power of choosing yourself. It's about the courage to walk away from what doesn't serve you. It's about the radical act of loving yourself and the people you love enough to say, "I deserve better." That's what they represent, and that's why their story matters. So let the tabloids keep writing their hit pieces. Let the so-called royal experts keep spewing their nonsense. Harry and Meghan are living their truth, and they're doing it on their own terms. That's victory. That's freedom. And for those of us who see it, who know that Harry and Meghan are the real deal, let's keep showing up. Let's keep supporting them. Let's keep telling the truth, because it matters. Because for every lie they tell, there's a chance for us to set the record straight. And for every hateful headline, there's a chance for us to lift up a story of hope and healing. So to everyone listening today, thank you for being part of this conversation. Thank you for standing with Harry and Meghan. Thank you for refusing to be silenced. And if you're feeling inspired, if you're feeling that fire in your belly, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Show your love and support by hitting that super thanks button and letting Harry and Meghan know that we're with them no matter what. Because in the end, it's not about the crown, it's not about the titles, it's not even about the royal family. It's about love, it's about freedom, and it's about the courage to choose both, even when the world tells you not to. People. Duchess Meghan wishes Harry could feel less burdened by the past. In the fall of 2021, the Duchess of Sussex made a point of referencing "my husband's family." She's done it multiple times over the years. She rarely calls them the royals or my father-in-law or whatever. She's distanced herself from all of them, and she now thinks of them as solely connected to Harry, his family, from his life before their marriage. That always spoke volumes to me about Meghan being absolutely done with all of them. She maintained relationships with Prince Philip and Quettu, and that was it. Once they were gone, so too was her interest in the lot of them, especially after the way they treated her in the days after Quiki's passing. Well, People Mag has another exclusive from their cover story this week. This one is about how Meghan supports all of Harry's stuff, but she wishes Harry wasn't so burdened by all of this royal bullsh-t8. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are united in their support of each other, but they view the deep divide with the royal family from different perspectives. They're aware of everything going on in England, but they're being left out of the details. There's clearly no trust, a source close to the couple tells People in this week's exclusive cover story. Meghan, who is focused on the future, while Harry has one foot in the past, is very business about it, the source says. Through it all, Meghan stands firmly by Harry's side, supporting him through his ongoing lawsuits and the painful rift with his family. But an insider says Meghan wishes her husband could feel less burdened by the past and more present in the life they've built together. The rift between Prince Harry and his father, King Charles, is 5 years deep and remains one of the most painful fractures in Charles's reign. Amid the King's cancer diagnosis and Harry's increasingly candid public pleas, the silence between them speaks volumes. "I don't know how much longer my father has," Harry told the BBC on May 2nd, after losing a legal appeal to restore his automatic police protection in the UK. But it was a more personal admission that landed harder. "He won't speak to me." From People. "I'll say this very carefully. I actually think this is an accurate representation of the state of play. Meghan is over all of it, but she loves Harry and supports all of his legal actions and attempts to reconcile with his father. But she also wishes he would just move on and make his peace. That's what broke my heart with Harry's BBC interview last month. Harry's refusal to acknowledge that his father doesn't give a shit about him, that Charles has never cared this whole time. If Meghan, Harry and their children are in mortal danger. Harry has spent all of this money trying to sue his way into police protection, and it was never going to happen. At a fundamental level, it was never going to happen because Charles never wanted it to happen. Harry and Meghan have done that, and so can we. Thank you for being here, Royal Sussex Squad. Let's keep lifting them up and let's keep speaking out because they deserve it, and because we all deserve a world where love wins."